If you have ADHD, you've probably heard the advice, just go for a run more times than you can count. And while any movement is good, what if the type of exercise you choose could work even harder for your brain? As a health and rehabilitation psychologist, I'm going to show you why an activity like tennis or badminton might be a secret weapon for better focus and faster processing speed, those of you that may have ADHD. We're going to target a specific, often overlooked part of your brain that is a game changer for ADHD. We're moving beyond the generic just exercise advice to explore the science of strategic movement and how it can fundamentally change the way you manage your ADHD. So to understand why exercise is so powerful, we need to talk about two key brain chemicals, dopamine and norepinephrine. In the ADHD brain, the system that manages these neurotransmitters is often dysregulated. So this can cause classic struggles with focus, motivation, and impulse control. When you exercise, your brain gets a natural surge of both dopamine and norepinephrine, which is why it's often compared to the effect of stimulant medications. This boost helps improve the signal quality between your brain cells, basically turning down mental static so you can focus on what's really important. But the benefits don't stop there. We're not just talking about general chemical boost. Exercise increases blood flow and activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is your brain's command center for decision-making and impulse control. But the key player that we're focusing on today is the cerebellum. Once known only for coordinating movements, we now know the cerebellum is also critical for cognitive function like attention and processing speed. It helps smooth out our thoughts, just like it smooths out our movements. An inefficient cerebellum might contribute to that mental and physical restlessness that's so common in individuals who have ADHD. So if you want to light up these key brain areas, what's the best way to do it? That's the question we're trying to answer. It's not about moving only. It's about moving with intention. So let me say that one more time. It's not about just moving or any exercise, but it's about moving with intention. So first up, let's talk about cognitively engaging exercises like racket sports. Studies have shown sports like tennis, badminton, or table tennis are incredibly powerful because they force you to track a ball, okay, think about this, predict moves, and coordinate your entire body in split second. So from a neurobiological standpoint, the more complex the movements, the more complex the synaptic connections your brain builds. These stronger, more efficient brain networks are then recruited to help you think and learn, improving your processing speed and focus long after your practice is over or the game is over. Next, we have classic aerobic activity. Running, cycling, swimming provide an immediate boost in your ability to focus and manage impulses. Oftentimes, some of these exercises need to be done for a longer period of time. So this happens because aerobic activity reliably boosts dopamine and norepinephrine, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, which is your brain's hub for executive function. But it goes deeper. Exercise doesn't just give you more dopamine. It improves your brain's ability to use it by enhancing receptor sensitivity. I know that's a lot of scientific terminology here. Let me break it down for a second. So think of it like upgrading not just the keys, but the locks they fit into. So the keys are the neurotransmitters like dopamine, norepinephrine, and the locks are basically the receptors on the cell. Okay, so when one neuron releases or increases the dopamine synthesis and secretion, and dopamine travels to the next cell, it binds to those locks that we call receptor. So the sensitivity of the receptors get better. So in addition to that, it also increases brain-derived neurotropic factor, also known as BDNF, which helps normalize the lower baseline levels often seen in ADHDs, building and rewiring neural circuits for better long-term function. So it really helps neural synaptic growth, okay, and how these neurons connect to one another. So finally, don't overlook activities that fuse complex motor skills with mindfulness, like martial arts, gymnastics, or yoga. These are brilliant for strengthening your brain's pause button. What's what scientists often call the inhibitory control. A lot of times people with ADHD have impulse control issues, and these type of exercises demand a certain level of awareness and body position coupled with controlled breathing and mental focus, which directly trains your ability to manage impulsivity. So disciplines like martial arts are particularly effective because they engage the brain and body in multiple ways at once, improving not just self-regulation, but also working memory and attention. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, this all sounds great, but I have ADHD. Getting started is the hardest part. So I agree with you. I experienced this myself. That executive dysfunction, which is basically known as the ADHD paralysis, is basically real. So let's make this feel less impossible for a second. Let me break it down. Like, how do you approach these activities? So first thing first, find the fun. Seriously, the best exercise is the one you will actually do. So I may have thrown out a lot of different activities here today, but I want you to find the one that you will actually enjoy and do. If you despite running, don't run. Try a dance class. Go hiking with a friend. Join a rec league, or try that tennis clinic you've been curious about. The more you enjoy it, the more your brain's reward system will light up, making it easier to come back for more. Second, I want you to embrace this concept known as movement snacking. You don't need to carve out a full hour every day. Research shows that every short burst of activities are beneficial. So brisk 10-minute walk, a few jumping jacks between work calls, or a 5-minute dance party in your kitchen, they all add up. As these things add up, you're also increasing the collective aggregate synthesis and secretion of dopamine in your brain. And as a result of that, as your motivation increases, you may actually be more willing and open to doing other activities that you have not tried before. Third, lean on accountability. Find a workout buddy, sign up for a class, or even hire a coach. Having an external structure and someone to answer to can be a lifesaver when your own internal motivation is running on empty. So the goal here is to reframe exercise from a chore into a vital part of your ADHD management toolkit. It's not just about moving your body. Remember that. It's about exercising smarter for your unique brain by picking activities that challenges the key pathways in the frontal lobe and cerebellum, and also picking activities that you genuinely enjoy. When you do that, you're not just getting a temporary focus boost, you're actively building a stronger, more resilient brain. Now, I want to hear from you. What kind of movement or exercise has been a game changer for your ADHD? Share your experiences in the comments. Your story might just be the spark someone else needs to get started. And if you're into more science-based strategies for your ADHD, make sure to subscribe or follow us for more scientific-based knowledge and interventions that may help your mental health as well as your physical health, hopefully. Thank you, guys.